And we're back and checking out the boom chicken this time. Just getting jiggy with it over here. Uh, I'm so sorry. That was horrible. Um, so bad. All right, so yeah, we're checking out the Balance Druid this time around on my Druid Kinko. I looked it up, and that's actually Japanese for balance. So, all right, we're gonna head out here. It's enough dancing for now. I actually can't remember if there's anything even to fight in Moonglade. Now that I think about it, um, let's come down here. I think there might be some stuff over this way, but we're checking out the Balance Druid first. And so this one, so this is a spell-based DPS spec for the Druid. There's also a melee-based one as a cat form, bear tank, and and then just restoration or whatever. Yeah, so there's an enemy here for a thing. I can't remember what the thing is, but there's some holiday thing where you come up here, you come to Moonglade to fight something. I guess there's nothing to fight here otherwise. Let's see, where can I go then? Let's go to Mount Hyjal. So we'll go. Can't hit the right darn buttons. Or actually, no, we can just go to Winter Spring. That's right here. But so the Balance Druid is can take on the form of a powerful Moonkin, balancing the power of arcane and nature magic to destroy enemies at a distance. Some of the basic abilities there are Solar Wrath, ranged attack that generates astral power. Lunar Strike, ranged attack that generates astral power, dealing damage to the primary target and lesser damage to other nearby enemies. Star Surge, a strong range attack that spends astral power and increases the damage done by Lunar Strike and Solar Wrath. Moonfire, get angled down here. Range attack that deals damage over time. I think almost all the specs have that ability. This, of course, is going to be the one that kind of is more prevalent, I guess you could say. Sunfire, range attack that deals damage over time to the primary target and nearby enemies. So kind of a funny thing there, because the solar ability here just does damage to a single target, and then the lunar one does damage to AoE, or does AoE damage. And then we've got Sunfire kind of flips it there, so it's a range attack that deals damage over time and to nearby enemies. It's kind of interesting there that how that works basically. And then Starfall, range attack that consumes astral power and deals damage over time to all enemies in the target area. So I think I like this a little bit, kind of messing around with it. Man, I can't talk. Sorry. The before, remember there's this thing like where you had like lunar power and solar power, and they would kind of like go one way. So it was like, oh, okay, use a bunch of lunar stuff, and then like once it maxed out, then like your solar stuff got more powerful or something, and then you kept using that until you filled that up, and then went the other direction. And I kind of like that. You have the different themes of the abilities, but they're separate, like in how they function. But now you just get astral power. So it's just whatever you get. You get sky power. So let's jump into the talents here. So I went ahead and I got everything picked out. That's actually one reason why I wasn't able to get quite as many videos done before. I'm going to try and sneak all of these out before the pre-patch actually drops, so you can watch it while the servers are down. So thanks ahead of time for watching. Thanks for all the views that you've already been given the videos. It's awesome seeing people liking the videos and checking them out and seeing what they're about. So we got Force of Nature here. Summons a stand of 3 treants for 10 seconds, which immediately taunt and attack enemies in the target area. Warrior of Elune, which is the one I got here. Next 2 Lunar Strikes are instant cast. So, where's Lunar Strike? There it is. Thought I lined these up better. So basically got it here. So like Lunar Strike, and then this is the thing above it that it directly affects it. So instead of like almost 2.5 second cast, you now just go boom and boom. I don't think I'm doing enough damage. What do you guys think? Alright, and then the other one is Star-Lord. Lunar and solar empowerments also reduce the cast time of their affected spells by 20%. And empowerment, if I can hit the right button here. Where is it there? Okay, there it is. So Starfall is one ability that applies stellar empowerment to each target that hits it, and it increases damage taken from Moonfire and Sunfire, basically. So, okay. Just wanted to find it there real quick. So this makes the Lunar and Solar Empowerments also reduce the cast time of those spells. Renewal, I took this one. It's a quick one-shot, just like a self-heal, 30% max health. You can use it in any form. So I can pop it here, or if I decide, oh man, I need to go into bear form to do stuff, I can still heal myself while in that form. And darn it, did it do it again? It keeps changing my stuff. Man, like it keeps resetting stuff a bunch. I guess that's why they call it the public test realm. Pop back into my Moonkin form. Look at me. Boom, chicken, boom, chicken, boom, chicken, boom. The other options there were Displacer Beast, teleports you up to 25 yards forward, activating cat form and increasing movement speed by 50% for 4 seconds. And Wild Charge grants a movement ability that varies by shapeshift form. So if you're not shapeshift, fly to an ally's position. Bear form, you charge towards the enemy and immobilize them for 4 seconds. Cat form, you leap behind them, dazing them for 3 seconds. Moonkin form, you just kind of jump backwards, basically. If you're in travel form, you leap forward 20 yards. And aquatic form, so basically while you're in the water using travel form, you kind of automatically slip into aquatic. Increases swim speed by an additional 150% for 5 seconds. So I found that, I think, just personally, I like this one better because these are all situational. You know, and then this also is a thing, you know, it activates cat form, and you move a little faster. Personally, I mean, I would just pop travel form and fly away in most zones, so that's not really an issue. And there we go. So that's why I went with Renewal. And then the level 45 talents, so what this one does is it gives you some of the abilities of another spec. So Druids, if you didn't notice over here, Druids have 4 specs. They've got Balance, they've got their caster DPS, they have Feral, so they can use their cat form as a melee DPS. Guardian, so they can be a tank, and then Restoration is their heal spec. So Druids have 4 specs. All the other classes only have 3. And I think I heard that Demon Hunters only have 2. I think that's right. I'm not 100% on that. I haven't had the chance to play them. You know, I didn't have beta access and stuff. So the options here are, so with this one, I feel like I'm already DPS, so I didn't go with this one, the Feral Affinity. So it basically makes it so that you get a base just 15% movement speed increase, and your energy regeneration is increased by 35%. That really only applies while you're in cat form. So, and then you learn some of the abilities that you would normally get if you were in Feral spec. The one that I chose was Guardian Affinity. So, reduce all damage taken by 10%. So I like that as a DPS. Being able to mitigate some damage is always nice. And then you learn some of the tanking abilities. So that's something where, like, if say I'm fighting something and I'm just like, oh man, I really need to, switch to tank form because it gives me a bunch of, like triples my armor basically. Gives me 55% more stamina. Can't be polymorphed and stuff. And then, so I mean that's a big boost. Makes me a lot more durable for a fight or something, and then I can just pop back out afterward. But this way I actually have abilities, so like if you see me pop into my cat form here, all I have is Thrash. I have like a single ability. Now it looks kind of cool, but it's the only ability I get. Whereas if I switch to bear form here, I've got a few more. So I've got that same kind of like thrash ability, does AoE damage. You can actually use Moonfire in bear form. And then I've got these other abilities, you know, like increases armor, heals me for some of the damage I've taken in the last few seconds. So that's why I went with that one. And then restoration affinity, so basically it makes me kind of like an off healer. The other cool thing though, I chose this for one of my other specs, you'll see that in that video, but this gives you Ysera's gift, so it heals you for 3% of your maximum health every 5 seconds. If you're at full health, it heals a random nearby injured ally. And then it gives you a couple of the like heal spec specific spells as well. And so this is something that if I remember right, it's in all of the specs. So when you switch to Feral, then you have, you know, I can't remember what they call it. I think it's Balance Affinity, and then Guardian and Restoration. As a Guardian, you have Balance, Feral, Resto, and as Resto, you have Feral, Guardian, and Balance. So you kind of can get a few of the abilities of the other spec, which I think is kind of cool. So with this one, since I'm already DPS, I felt like having tank abilities would be kind of nice. Over here we've got level 60 Mighty Bash. Invokes the Spirit of Ursoc to stun the target for 5 seconds, usable in all shapeshift forms. Mass Entanglement, this is the one that I went with. Is it just roots stuff? The roots target in place for 20 seconds and spreads to additional nearby enemies. Damage may interrupt the effect, and you can use it in any form. And then Typhoon, this is one I think Shamies used to have something like it, or maybe they do still, I don't remember. But this throws enemies backwards, and I know tanks don't like it sometimes. So that's another reason I didn't go with that one. So I like this, especially because say I get in a situation where I need to like get out of here, then I can just kind of pop that and keep running. So, level 75, we've got Soul of the Forest, so increases the damage bonus from lunar and solar empowerment by an additional 15%, and reduces the astral power cost of Starfall by 10. So it's, oh no, that's not Starfall. There it is. Normally it's 60, so it would drop it down to 50. And then there's Incarnation Chosen of Elune, an improved Moonkin form that increases the damage of all your spells by 35%, causes your Lunar Strike and Solar Wrath to generate 50% additional astral power. Last 30 seconds, you can shapeshift in and out of the improved Moonkin form for the full duration there. One I went with, though, was Stellar Flare, because it sounds cool. And so what that does, it burns the target for some damage, and then an additional bunch of damage over time. And it benefits from Starfall's Stellar Empowerment. Yeah, so if I drop a Starfall and then a Stellar Flare, do a decent amount of AoE damage, and then drop a big bunch of damage on an enemy. Level 90, we got Shooting Stars. This is the one that I went with here. Moonfire and Sunfire damage over time has a 10% chance to call down a falling star. Deals a little bit of astral damage and generates a few points of astral power. The other options were Astral Communion, so it just gives you 75 astral power, has a 1 1/3 minute cooldown. And then Blessing of the Ancients. Gain the Blessing of the Ancients, activating or swapping between one of the 2 following beneficial effects. So I tried it out real briefly. Basically, you throw it on your bar, and every time you hit it, it just switches between one of the 2 effects. Those being Blessing of Elune, increases astral power generated by Solar Wrath and Lunar Strike. And then Blessing of Anshe grants 2 astral power every 2.3 seconds. I tried that one out. You stop gaining it, or if you're not in combat, you'll see it like tick up. Like you'll get 2 astral power, and then it just kind of disappears because you're not in combat. So if that was like, I can't remember what class it is. I think it's the Barbarian in Diablo 3. They have an ability where instead of you're always losing rage and then you fight and you get it, you still, when doing certain attacks, gain rage, but you're always gaining some. So it's like it starts full, and I can't remember what the rate was, like, just a little bit at a time. But, over like half a minute, your thing would fill up. And I just thought, oh, maybe that's what it does. And, things will get tweaked a little bit with how you play. That's not how it works. So it's basically, it really only benefits you when you're in combat, from what I could see. So I don't really like that one. And then increasing the astral power generated by those couple of abilities, I felt like just having a passive thing that has a chance to just cause a little bit of extra damage. I like that better. Last, we've got level 100 here. Fury of Elune calls down. This one uses some astral power, and then it drains it ongoing. Moonfire and Sunfire damage over time has whoops, no. Fury of Elune calls down a beam of pure celestial energy at the target location. Deal some astral damage every 1 second until your astral power is exhausted. And while it's active, you can recast it for no cost to move it somewhere else. I kind of don't like the things that just drain your resource all the way down over time. And in addition to that, you can move it, but it's a little troublesome in my opinion to do that. And then we've got Stellar Drift, increases Starfall's radius by 30%, Starfall damage by 20%, and allows you to cast while moving while within Starfall's radius. And then the one I went with Nature's Balance. So aligns the power of the moon and stars, causing Lunar Strike to extend the duration of your Moonfire by about 5.5 seconds, and Solar Wrath to extend the duration of your Sunfire by 3.7 seconds. You dead. So I went with that one because I just like that. So of course I'm fighting something higher level, can throw my little dots on them, and then throw these other abilities on them, and it will keep those durations refreshed, which is very often nice. So like I said, that's gonna be it for Balance. As always, thanks for watching, everybody. If you do like the video, don't forget to tick that like button, and don't forget to tick that subscribe button as well to get updates when new content drops on the channel here. And do remember that there is no IRL, just AFKs, and we'll see you next time that Alma plays World of Warcraft. Peace out.